Welcome to Launching Syndications. I'm so excited that you're here. We're going to go through the whole system in these modules. We're going to take you step by step on how to put a syndication together and give you all the tools that you need to launch your own syndication. And you can do it time and time again. You'll start making money. You'll start working with investors, and people will start seeing you as one of the players and not somebody who's just servicing the real estate community by doing brokerage. This is an exciting time. I hope you're excited, and let's go ahead and get started. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. This module is to give you a forest through the trees view. It's very easy as you're working through a syndication or you're learning this stuff to see all these different things that are all coming at once, and you lose track of what needs to get done or how this all fits together. I mean, just where exactly does property management fit into this? Should I be thinking about that in the launchpad, or where does it all fit together? This module is the solution for that. So what we're going to be going over is we're going to be going in detail on just the really high level stuff. So we're going to show you the entire roadmap, the entire forest, and then we'll point out each individual tree so that way when you can come back, you can say, oh, so that's how it all fits together. But watch this one all the way through because it may save you a lot of time understanding that from the very beginning. But don't be afraid to come back and check this out some more. So at the end of the day, what our goal is to find a syndication, put it together, and then bring investors to it, close it, operate it, sell it at some point, and pay everyone off, and everybody's happy, right? That's our goal. So what we're trying to do, and how we do that, is it starts with, first, we know that we need, switch to whiteboard. We know that we need investors, right? Investors are the people who we're going to be bringing to the deal. So investors, and we know that we're going to need properties, right? Those are two things that we know we're going to have to do. So what we do in this system is we put them into a funnel. And part of that funnel is to sort things out. I want to put in as many investors as possible into this funnel, and I want to be looking at lots of properties and deciding if it's a good fit. And speaking of fit, the first layer that we sort everything through is our founder's investment theory. The founder investment theory is how we sort out what's important to our investors and if the property fits at all. And the next step is financial analysis. Because if the numbers work, that's critical, right? So you need the numbers to work in order for it to make sense. An investor isn't going to latch onto a deal when the numbers just don't make any sense at all. So financial analysis is the second layer, because if it doesn't meet the founder investment theory, you want to kick it out right away. And if it meets that, it's got to the numbers have to make sense too. So then we look, we've done those things, right? And so we find a deal that works. So big celebration. Now what we do is we start putting a deal together. And so first we go through what I call the alphabet soup, because we need to understand what SEC exception we are going to be relying on, because that can direct us. It directs us in our marketing, and it directs us in terms of how our deal can be structured. So we need to make some decisions about which SEC exception it's going to be. Now that's probably going to be 506C, but don't worry about that now, because you're going to get that in detail in the liftoff section on the alphabet soup. Then we have to write a private placement memorandum. I'm just going to put memo. And we need to write an operating agreement. And we need a subscription agreement. And those form the basis on how we're able to do what we're going to be doing. So that's great. You've now found the property, you've filtered it through, and now you've gotten your private placement memorandum, your operating agreement, your subscription agreement. All is good. You've identified some investors, and and the property's already been chosen, right? So now the deal is in escrow and the clock is ticking. So we need to get this puppy done. So the next step is really we need to do the next, which is we need to do a what we call, first we need to market the property. And that can be different things depending on the decision that we made in this alphabet soup time. But we need to market the property. Then we need to take those investors, the ones that we've already identified and the ones that we'll find as part of our marketing as well, and we need to latch them on to the deal. And then finally, we need to fund and close. Right? We need to fund and close the deal in order to be successful. And when we do that, now we are finally in orbit. And we have done a lot of the hard work. So that's a party hat. So you've done a lot of the hard work. It's time to party, celebrate that that part is done. But your work as a syndicator is not over. Because now that we've got it, we've got an annual thing that takes place every year that goes over and over and over. There's a process here that we need to do. And I draw it as a spiral because it's a circle process. It keeps going and going and going, and for the duration of while your hold time. So that is, what we're doing there is we're doing, investor communications. We're doing asset management. We're doing property management. And even if we're not doing the property management ourselves, we're still overseeing the property management. And we're making distributions. That's going on every year during that hold period. Now, finally, there is a point. And at that point, you start to think maybe it's time that we sell this property. And when it's time to sell that property, there's certain things that have to be done. Well, first, you have to decide that it's time to sell. Then, many times you need to vote and get formal approval from your investors that it's time to sell. Then you've got your final distributions. And then we close the investment completely. Now, we've got this structure, and all around this too, there is another frame that's important, and we're going to talk about that in the Launchpad section also. And that frame is the structure. And that's the structure of the investment itself. And this constitutes the entire system. So each one of these is one of the modules within what we talk about here. So this is how it all fits together. Now we're going to go in detail through each one in each module. And we're going to do whatever we can do to help you launch your own syndication and be tremendously successful.